Well, it is Monday night, which means it is time for Dylan Talks Tone live. This is our live show. So we talk about guitar stuff live every Monday night at 9 p.m. So we are very glad to have you here with us this evening. Well, how are you?
I'm good. I love when we go live on YouTube and it's like, it literally says the internet can totally see you now.
Nice.
It's
Well,
like
I guess
warning.
the internet can see us.
Can totally see you.
They can totally see us. Leslie, tell them how they can participate and be part of the thing that we're doing here.
They can find us on youtube.com/Dylan Talks Tone. It should be the first pop-up. You should see the live video, and there is a chat option. We already have people chatting with us, including Bryson.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's our son, by the way. Very, very cool. Very cool. So the other thing that we can do also is if you cannot watch it, you can also listen to it on kprlive.com. And we will also have a replay of this uploaded sometime tomorrow morning, so that you'll be able to watch it there as well. And the cool part about that is we are kicking it off to some podcast platforms. We're stripping the audio off.
Yep.
And sending it to some podcast platforms also. So that will be a thing that will be available here in the next couple days. I'm going to share some links to where you'll be able to listen to it in the car and stuff also that way as well. So this week, let me grab my notepad and put this thing in front of me here, and let's talk about some stuff. So we made some videos this week, some really good ones. I thought it was really fun about tuning guitars. Like I mentioned, the last few weeks, I really wanted to focus on some, I don't want to say simpler stuff, but some stuff that really gets kind of back to the fundamentals of playing guitar. I don't want to get so super nerdy about all this stuff that, you know, a lot of people will never understand or never really care about. So let's talk about tuning guitars. I mean, that's one of the simple things. So we made that video about tuning. Mm-hmm. It was really, really fun. And then we said we were going to make a video about apps, how to use, you know, what would be good apps. So we're going to talk about that here in just a few minutes. And I also want to talk about locking tuners a little bit, because there were some questions about locking tuners and how they can be bad. Okay. So let me just do this right away. Actually, let me grab this Stratocaster. And for those of you that are listening on the radio, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my old red Strat off the wall here. And I am going to show you kind of a little bit more up close what locking tuners do and how they work. And we kind of know how they work, but one of the things we got to know about locking tuners is if you do it wrong, you can actually break the string. Okay, so this was one of the things that came up, and they're like, well, I don't like locking tuners because I always break strings with them. So the way this one works, and the way most of them work, okay, the Clusen ones that we use on a lot of guitars, the pin comes from the front. Most other ones come from the back, so you have this knob on the back of the tuner back here, okay? We actually had a customer not know how these worked last week as well, so we'll talk about it. You pull the string through, and you tighten up this knob right here, and there's a pin in there that pushes against the string sideways. It actually pushes against the string and holds it. If you over tighten this, you can kink it so hard. You can kink the string inside the machine here so hard that it will break. Like if you go like this or something, if there's a kink in the string, it'll break. So you just have to do it just enough. I mean, I could probably just pop these and the strings would fly off. I mean, they're not very much. It happens mostly on the E and the B string. The wound strings are a little bit stronger because they've got windings on them, obviously. So, but that's the thing. So you don't want to over tighten these. You might do it a couple of times. You might break a string a couple of times until you figure out exactly how they work. So that's the only thing I would say is just make sure you don't over tighten them, because it literally is a pin that pushes sideways across the string. It just goes straight this way, and all this thing is just basically a bolt that goes straight into it. The Clusen ones that we use, like on the Seafoam Green Strat over there, and we've got a couple other ones, they're the same thing, but the pin is in from the front. And you'll see Paul Reed Smith, I think, has them too, with the little twisty thing on the front, and all it is a pin that just stabs into the side of the string. So you just want to make sure you don't over tighten them and have a breakage problem. Let me go ahead and throw this guitar back on the wall. There we go.
So we have a new listener tonight.
All right.
We have a new listener from California that said they were researching replacement P90 pickups and found the channel last night.
Oh, very, very cool. Very cool. I'm glad you found us. And if you have questions about P90s, feel free to throw them in the mix tonight, because I always love talking about P90s. That's always super fun. It's my favorite pickup. It is my favorite pickup.
It must be theirs too.
Yep, exactly.
Or maybe it's not currently if they're looking for a replacement.
Exactly. No, that's really cool. So the other thing we want to talk about tuners. And I'm just going to keep going on some of this content that I've followed. I've kind of followed this through. So, from last week. So we talked about the broken strings. One other question that I got from a listener, viewer on the YouTube channel this week was about pickup height, which is completely off topic, but I'll just cover it real quick. He was wondering about raising and lowering treble side versus bass side, so basically the low strings versus the high strings, and how to do that and make sure that it's even. And we have a video about this on our guitar setup playlist on YouTube. And what I would say about it is just go watch that and use it as a general guideline, but don't trip out about it too much. If you like the way it sounds when you're done, that's all that matters. And if you have to adjust one pickup a little bit, maybe you've got too much treble and you want to drop that treble side, the high strings just a little bit, you know what? No stress. Do whatever you need to do to make that work. And then the other question we had that just came up about an hour before the show, we were talking about tuners, because it was this whole thing, surrounding app tuners, like on phones and stuff.
Right.
And the reason I've got the acoustic here out in front of me is because I want to demonstrate something. He was saying that he thinks it's more correct to use open strings to tune for intonation, and then use plucked strings to tune for tuning the guitar, and then living with the fact that everything is a little bit sharp. The reason I don't do it that way, and a lot of people do, a lot of people say use open string harmonics to set intonation. And there's a couple of reasons why I don't do it that way. And this is really key to the baseline setup of a guitar. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you how I do it and why. And I'm going to show you why I don't do it the other way. So let's go ahead and go and grab this guitar. And we'll put it here on the desk. Let me make sure nothing's going to fall off. I don't beat my guitar up because this is my favorite. Okay. And I didn't mic the guitar. I didn't plug it in, so you might not hear it. You should hear it just enough to get the idea, okay? It's not plugged in. It's not mic'd or anything. So what they're talking about is when you set intonation on a guitar, a lot of people will go like this. They'll pluck the low E, or any string, but let's just say they'll go like that, and they'll check the tuning. And then they'll go like this with the 12th fret harmonic. And they'll make sure that that is the same note. The reason I don't do it this way is because the geometry of everything is such that when you fret the note, it pulls the whole string towards the fretboard, not just this note. It actually elongates the whole string, okay? And so it pulls it sharp. And depending on the setup of the guitar, you could have a different result once you start playing it. So what I mean by that is if the action is very, very high and you go like that and use the 12th fret harmonic, if the action is very high, then when you pull the 12th fret down, then it could be way sharper than the 12th fret harmonic, okay? Now, on this guitar, the action is pretty low, and so it's very, very close. But depending on the nut height and the string height at the 12th fret or the 17th fret, depending on how you measure it, and also depending on the rest of the setup of the guitar, because this is like the very last thing that you do. So let's say you have, so let's make a scenario here. Let's say you have a guy who plays really, really hard, okay? Like maybe you're one of those guys that plays real hard. I'm one of those. So I play really hard with a pick and, you know, wear off your pick guard kind of guy, okay? So he's going to want more neck relief, which means he's going to want more bow in the neck this way. So the center of the string right here in the middle of the fretboard, like at the 5th to the 7th fret, is going to be a little higher, okay? He's going to probably want a little bit more nut height, okay, down here. And he's also probably going to want a little bit more string height. We're not talking like Steve Vai, super low, shreddy kind of stuff. We're talking pretty meaty player, you know. Like I like to get underneath the string when I play. I like to get underneath the string when I play, so I like to have a little room in there. The problem is that if I were to set my intonation by an open string and then an open 12th fret harmonic, when I start to fret these notes, I'm pulling them away from that bass line pitch every time. And we are. Everybody is. Every time we play a guitar, we're pulling certain notes away from their bass line pitch. But if you fret the 12th harmonic instead of using open harmonic, if you fret the 12th fret instead of using an open harmonic, so you go like this. You put some tension in that string, you pull it down to the fretboard, and you get it more closely matched with the way you actually play. Not very many people, unless you play slide, play with open strings not fretted. Unless you play slide, then that's different. The other thing is depending on where you have your finger here, you can actually move their harmonic a little bit. To me, it's just not as accurate. And the way I feel about it is I want to use fretted notes so that I have taken the whole setup of the guitar into account when I set my intonation. Okay? And the lower the action, the less of a factor this is, because the less you're pulling the note away from pitch when you play it. So if the action is very high, you could really affect the final intonation setting. If the action is really, really low, it doesn't make as much a difference. But for the sake of consistency and matching the playing style of whoever I'm working on their guitar or building one from scratch, that's the way I do it. So I just want to give you a little reason behind that, because everybody asks me about that, and I don't know that I've ever actually sat and explained it. Like I've never sat through that whole process and explained it. I've mentioned it a couple times in like comments on YouTube and stuff, but I've not, really taken the time and gone through the details of that. I should make a video about that. There'll be lots of arguments because everybody thinks to do it different, but
Right.
that's just kind of my theory on it, and it seems to work for me. So, yeah, super fun stuff. How's it going over there in YouTube land?
It's going good. Just so the P90s inspired some conversation. I dropped you a link. I don't know if our little shared thing is working.
I got a new phone today, so we're still going through the whole. So it's weird. Oh, there it is. I see it.
So apparently the P90 conversation inspired Billy Joe Armstrong is going to have a store on Reverb. An article came out tonight. The gear is released Wednesday. So they were just talking about some of that.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, he plays some of my favorite guitars of all time.
Yeah, some of his gear is going to be on there, including yes, exactly.
A 1960 Les Paul Jr. in cherry.
There's a 59 also, isn't there?
There is a 59 right there.
Yeah.
There sure is. Wait a minute. We haven't even talked about this. Speaking of 59 Les Paul Juniors.
Yes. Don't forget to address.
Okay. I could do this first.
The next couple of weeks. Somebody just asked about that as well.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about. We've got a plan coming up for that. We went to the big house, the Allman Brothers Museum in Macon, Georgia last weekend. Not to make anybody mad or anything, but I'm not really. I love the Allman Brothers, but I'm kind of tired of them. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there. So I'm not the super fan that knows every little thing about the Allman Brothers. I don't know everything about them. And I feel like people could learn some more songs to play in bars on the weekends. Like, they are very amazing, but I'm just kind of over them. That being said, so I'm just letting you know that for the simple fact that I'm not an Allman Brothers super fan, so I cannot tell you every little detail. However, for those of you that are Allman Brothers super fans, you have got to go check this place out. It is amazing especially if you are that keen to all the details about the Allman Brothers, all the changes through the years and everything. And of course, Dwayne's, gold top is there. And Richard was there, the curator of the museum. He's in all the videos, the guy with the big beard. He was there. So I got to stand there and chat with him for a little while, and he told me some neat stuff. And hopefully I'll get to go down there again and kind of poke around some more, because there's a lot of really historical instruments there, really cool. Dwayne's very first guitar, which was a 59 Les Paul Jr., which is, for those of you that know me, it's my favorite guitar ever. Like, that's the guitar, in my opinion. You don't need another one. 59 Les Paul Jr. is the guitar, in my opinion. So, super cool. If you are in the Southeast ever, and you are into the Allman Brothers even a little bit more than I am, you have to go and check it out. $15. It was super cheap. Like, super cheap to go. And the people that are there really know their stuff. They have, like, I feel like they have every ticket stub from all these shows, and they have, all the gear from the Live at the Fillmore record, and they have, all this stuff. Super, super fun stuff. For those of you that are watching me on YouTube right now, you can see that I'm messing with my facial recognition because it's still learning it. Yeah, so you have to go to that. It was really, really fun. And then we're standing there, and we have to, and you can go to Music and Mascara blog. vlog on the Music and Mascara YouTube channel, and we vlogged about it on Saturday. So there's a video. It's on my Facebook page. I think I shared it in a couple places. Go check that video out, because on that trip, and he's like, the cemetery where they're all buried is just right over here. Like I said, I'm not really a super fan, except cemeteries in the South are a different experience because they're so old. 1840?
That's when the cemetery was established, yeah.
Yeah. This was unlike any other cemetery I'd ever been in before. There was Confederate soldiers that were buried there. There was, just everything. Oh, yeah, 1840s, before the Civil War.
Right.
Holy smokes. I don't know. My brain just clicked that, but
it was massive. We had no idea it was so massive.
Yeah, ridiculously huge. And
we didn't even find what we were looking for.
No, we were going to try to go find Dwayne's grave, and we couldn't find it. It was so big, and the roads were so narrow. And it was like four-wheeling in town in a cemetery. Even staying on the little trails and stuff. It was crazy. It was so fun. But definitely go check it out if you're, like I said, if you're into that stuff. And even if you're not, it is my opinion that everybody should at least learn that history. So cool.
Are your DAF pickups a great option for those looking for the Dwayne Derek truck sound?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So the deal with those is, it's funny that you asked that question, because I was just telling Richard at the museum this the other day. My favorite Les Paul, I'm not a Les Paul guy. My favorite Les Paul is a 1957 gold top Les Paul. Very similar to what Dwayne Allman played. And when I made the first DAFs, I wanted to make, with 21st century technology and 20th century, wire and stuff. So you didn't have to get all weird about butyrate and all these various materials that is really hard to come by. I'm not a vintage clone guy. So I wanted to take what was readily available to us and make a really good 57 gold top pickup, because that's my favorite humbucker. So I borrowed one. I borrowed a 57 gold top, and I think I hit it pretty close. So, in fact, that one's, top 10 Premier guitar in 2000, whenever they came out. So, no, they were a really good pickup, and that exact thing. So, that kind of wild, loose around the edges, not tight and defined like a higher gain pickup. They're super low output. Yeah, that's exactly the tone. That's what we did on purpose. It's cool that they asked that, because that's exactly what I was talking to him about the other day.
So then we have people talking about the cemeteries, and they were saying there's 1600s in New England, and there's all the way back to 1700s in Indiana.
Well, we need to go check those out.
That's what I was like, tell us where to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we're going to probably be in New England. I don't know if it's going to be this winter or in the springtime, but we need to get up the East Coast.
Not winter.
We need to get up the East Coast here pretty quick. Yeah.
You still on an agenda, or are you taking questions?
I'll take some questions, and then we'll talk about, I guess let's make kind of the roundup of the Guitar Tuner app discussion.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make that kind of our main topic, but we'll take some questions right now. That's cool.
I just have one right now. It says, why do people on YouTube hate on the Boss Metal Zone so much? Sounds like they just don't know how to use it.
You said it.
You just think they don't know how to use it.
Well, the Boss Metal Zone is one of those pickups one of those pedals where it was made to do a thing, and it does that thing very well. And it is more flexible than people give it credit for. But because it's named what it is, then yeah, I think it gets a lot of ridicule. But you can do some stuff with it. That's like the Boss SD1 and the Boss DS1. The Boss the Boss DS1 is that orange one that I bought for $20 with a knob busted off. It's a great pedal, you know, and it has a thing, and it does a thing, and it does it very, very well. And you can make it do 2 or 3 other things too. I don't know that necessarily those 3 pedals are as versatile as some of the other stuff. But the other thing you got to remember is when it comes to overdrives, right? Well, there's overdrives and there's distortions, right? So we could do a whole show on this, but overdrives are taking the signal and pushing your amp beyond its breaking point so that it starts to distort. A distortion pedal is an amplifier that basically just crushes everything from the very, I mean, it has its own sound before we even talk about what the tubes in your amp already sound like. So they do their own thing, and I think a lot of people either use them wrong or have different expectations than what they were designed for, if that makes sense. And really, when it really comes down to it, there's really only a few overdrive pedals, and all the rest are copying that. So, you know, you got your Boss DS1 and SD1 and MT1, which MT2 or whatever it is, the metal zone. And then you've got your Rat, your Proco Rat, and then you've got your Tube Screamer, right? And there's 2 or 3 iterations of that. And then you've got a Fuzz. And I mean, that's basically it. And then you go into all these other boutique makers and stuff that charge 3 times as much to basically do their own generation of the same exact thing. So there's really only 4 or 5 sounds out there that people just change a little, you know?
So another question.
Okay.
Outside of somebody asked about the Allman Brothers sound. Do you have any recommendations for the Jerry Garcia sound?
Okay, so the Jerry Garcia sound is very interesting because it is so processed.
So it's not really a pickup, it's a combination
It's a combination of a lot of things put together. And I mean, if I had Robert Keeley on the phone right now, me and him could like together hash out the Jerry Garcia sound. He would say, take your pedal, this pickup of yours, and this pedal of mine, and we would make the perfect Jerry Garcia sound. So, you know, because there's phasing things going on there, I would have to listen to it again. I mean, I know that we've done it. The DAF is not the guitar, not the pickup for that. And it also depends on what guitar you're talking about for Jerry Garcia, because he also does he did a lot of funny things like put 2 single coils close to each other and stuff like that. I mean, to me, Jerry Garcia is literally a humbucker and a Strat pickup put together, kind of in this weird, phasey, scoopy sound. So, yeah, we can do it. We have done it. We have done it for people. That's like the Prince thing too. You know,
right,
we've built the Prince style pickup also, and nailed it. But that's more of a just talking to the person, getting the specifics. There's so many variables there that I like to understand what the client's vision of how they're getting to Jerry Garcia's sound is, and then where I fit in to help them do that. So if they have a stack of pedals and they say, I need the pickups to feed these pedals, or I want it all with the guitar and then put this pedal with it, like that sort of thing is, I need to know that because it's so wide, you know.
The same person that asked that question said he would love to hear that conversation between you and Robert.
Well, all you have to do is say the word, and I'll try to make that happen because that would be really fun. Actually, we need to write that down.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Because that does sound fun.
We have Randy, he said, sorry, I'm late.
I'm writing it down right now.
Lost track of time updating the Katana amp to version 2.
Oh, okay. So this is a viewer, just to catch everybody else up. This is a viewer and listener, long-time viewer and listener that and customer, actually.
Yes.
That bought our Boss Katana amp that we had here in the studio for demos and stuff.
So he must be enjoying it if he can lose track of time with
He
it.
just got it
That's
7
so
o'clock this
fun.
morning. He said it
Oh
came in
my
early. Yeah.
goodness.
Jerry Garcia sound with Robert Keeley. I'm writing this down right now, and I'm actually going to send him a message in the morning.
Yep.
And see if we can arrange like a Skype call or something where we could record that and do that. Would be really fun.
And do you advise unwinding a pickup, say 10%, to lower its output?
No, that's too much trouble. It is also rarely successful. Depending on the age and what it was potted with, whether it was wax or lacquer or whatever, it's literally faster and easier for me to just make another one. That's
But would you
answer.
advise a user to ever do that?
Ooh, man.
Individual. That's how I read the question.
That's a do at your own risk situation. It's very rarely successful. Very rarely successful. Even when we have pickups come in for restoration, a lot of times, like, an old tele pickup or something from the 60s and it doesn't work, we will attempt to unwind 20, 30, 40, 50 winds off of it so that we can get down past a break or a short or something. But that is only successful 5% of the time. It doesn't hardly ever work. It hardly ever works. Sorry, double negative.
Okay,
Yeah.
proceed.
Definitely tough.
I think we're caught up now.
Awesome. Let's talk, and keep asking questions and stuff, and we'll come back to here in just a minute. I want to just touch real quickly on a couple of details about this app tuner situation that was not in the video that we uploaded today. So we uploaded a video that was, how to help you select a tuner app for your cell phone. What it really comes down to is the tuner that you trust the most. Okay? So
does that need to stay on?
Whether it be the Korg or the Boss TU3 or the whatever it is, whatever tuner you trust the most, that you use all the time, when picking an app on a cell phone or an iPad or whatever, just shop them until you find the one that most closely resembles the tuner that you trust the most. And here's the thing. When you get a new phone, it's possible that you'll have to do it again. Like, I was using an iPhone 7 this morning when I made that video. Now I have the iPhone X, and I'm going to actually have to go and make sure that the tuner that I was using this morning is the same tuner that I'm going to use tomorrow. It's possible that I will actually switch brands of app because it works differently with the hardware in the new phone. So it is a variable. Also, there's other things too, like, accuracy is the most important thing, but there's also other features in some of these tuner apps that aren't, alternative tunings and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to mention that. And then there's also other ones that you can put an external microphone in that make it work better. Some of them have recording stuff. Some of them help you figure out chords. There's all kinds of stuff. But as long as you're getting consistent, accurate results, I think that's what's most important. Really. And that's really it. I mean, people overthink it, I think, a lot. And some of the free ones are good, but they just put so much like advertising crap and banners and stuff in them. It's worth it for me to spend the $5.99 to not have that stuff in my way all the time. So, I mean, I think this morning we bought, let's see. So we have the iStrobo Soft. We'll go through a couple of these. The iStrobo Soft by Peterson. So it's like a strobe tuner. And then we have the Boss tuner that is more like the Boss TU3. And we have some of these are gone because I screwed up my...
Oh, your install. So I just saw somebody say, and I don't know if you thought about this, but it's a great idea. Uses the Peterson app, but he uses it through his iRig setup.
Really?
Which makes perfect sense.
It does make perfect sense.
Then you don't have the sound in the room or anything affecting that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of genius.
And we use iRig. That's
Right.
what we're using right now.
Correct. Anyway, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. Yep. And actually, this app has a bunch of... So, going back to that, this iStrobosoft is my favorite. The only thing is that sometimes there's two things that I have a tough time with sometimes. One is very low tunings. So like drop tunings, if you're a whole step down and then you go to like a drop B or something, sometimes those really low strings like to come apart a little bit and don't tune as accurately as possible. And then the other thing that kind of bugs me, I guess, I don't want to say bugs me, but I'm used to it by now, is you have to get used to is it's a little slower. Only because a strobe tuner works differently, and even a strobe simulator, which is what this technically is, it works differently. So it's more accurate, but it also takes more time to be that much more accurate. But in my opinion, it's worth it. And you can tune other octaves and stuff with a strobe tuner because it's got that 3-band thing and it works differently for different octaves. So it's pretty cool. I dig it a lot, actually. What else we got over there?
They're just talking about tuners.
Well, what's everybody else using? That's what because I asked that today.
So we have the Peterson. Somebody said they use a Korg tuner. That's not an app though, right?
Nope. I don't think they have an app.
6G. I don't know if that's related to anything. I don't know where that comment fit in. And then of course we have the iRig with the Peterson app.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. And that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if Korg has an app, actually. I'm going to go ahead and check that really quick because their tuners are so great. They are amazing. Nope, and it doesn't look like they do. Oh, Guitar Tuna. That's another one. I actually have that as well. It's not my favorite one, so I don't really care about it that much. N-Track is also another really cool tuner. N-Track gives you some other options for real-time analyzing and listening to other frequencies and stuff besides just a guitar. So I've found that useful when actually using that to test pickups, looking at like I said, like a real-time analyzer, which I know that's only as accurate as the phone is, but when you can create a reference point and then put another reference point against it, it's pretty sweet, and it works really well. Yeah, very cool.
I said I didn't know if 6G was related or where that comment came from, and he was like, "Nope, that was my tablet falling off my lap."
Oh my gosh. That's pretty funny. That's really funny. Well, cool. I need to do a whole video on all these other...
We did have somebody say that they use N-Track.
Yeah, it works good. And it's got a neat user interface, and it does other things other than just tune guitars. There's other features that it has that I really like about it. So, some of them I can't see with my new phone because of the notch.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
But yeah. Well, very cool. Have we taken care of everyone's FAQs tonight? That's what I really want to know.
So far, I think. We're getting harassed about not thinking of that. I can't believe you never thought of that.
I never,
I
nope,
was like,
I
we
never
can't
thought
think
of
of
that.
everything. That's what community is for.
Well,
right?
yeah, no, thank you for that. And I'll tell you truthfully, the reason I have not thought of that is because I don't need it, because I use the Korg pitch black bench top. I also use a Peterson bench top, and I also use, more often than not, my Kemper. So line in is very easy to do. I actually have more trouble. So I'll tell you right now, the only tuners I have for my acoustic, for doing anything acoustic, is a phone and the Korg Sledgehammer clip-on. I don't have any good chromatic tuners that with a good microphone. I actually don't own any. So the phone tuner is the best one for me for that.
And then the notch. He's talking about your phone. Somebody said they use the tuner in GarageBand.
Yeah, that's actually a really good one too. Yep, I just don't have GarageBand on my phone.
Why not? I thought it came with it.
It did, but I took it off because I didn't use it. And unlike other people in this room, I don't like having too many apps on my phone. So
I love apps and folders.
yeah, so it's not on my phone. It's on my iPad, I think, but it's not on my phone. But that is a good tuner. It works good. Yep, for sure. Well, awesome. It is 9:42. Do you know where your children are?
On YouTube.
Do we still have a child on YouTube? Nice. Right on. No, that's cool. I'm glad he's listening. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to add this evening. Other than that. Oh, one thing let's talk about. I almost forgot. This is the last show ever in 2017. ... Yeah. We are not going to have a show next week, and we are not going to have a show the week after. We're going to take the 2 weeks off for the holidays. The reason is it's Christmas, right? Is it Christmas or Christmas Eve? Whatever.
Monday is Christmas Day.
And the next
one is New Year's Day.
Right.
Correct.
So instead of worrying about that, I think we're still gonna create content every day. I want to know if any of those people have been watching our vlogs, our daily vlogs.
I don't know, because that would mean that they follow us on Music and Mascara.
It also means that they could see it on a playlist that I created on my YouTube channel.
Oh, that's right. Oh, so they could have watched that way.
Yeah. And actually, I just realized that I've not even taken the camera out and vlogged anything about this show tonight. So I actually just picked up. So just so everybody knows, we have decided, and this goes back to the whole creating a community thing around Dylan Talks Tone and Music and Mascara and everything. We've gone to a daily vlog. We're carrying a camera with us everywhere, and we are vlogging pretty much our entire life. And those of you that don't regularly watch Dylan Talks Tone may not realize just how much we work and how much we do that's music related outside of just the business. So it's really fun. Like even that museum, that had nothing to do with work, you know, but because we love music so much. So you're going to see a lot of that content. And then the other thing is you're going to see a lot of content related to this community that we're trying to build, and honestly just trying to make the internet a better place. It's really what it comes down to, and it's working. And not to go off on this for too long, but I will tell you, since I made that video about let's just change the guitar community and the guitar culture and just be better about this, the amount of like letters in my inbox, long comments and letters and notes and messages and I mean all kinds of stuff from people who are like, you know what, this is the way to be, and then the right thing is always the right thing, and being nice is always the right thing. So this has really been fun because I was telling Leslie yesterday, we have a whole, I don't, crop is the wrong word. We have a whole group of new faces and new names in our comments and in our participation, even in this thing tonight. And it's really, really fun because it's bringing out the best in everybody and it's bringing out the best people. And I really, really appreciate everybody's participation and really kind of grasping the concept here of what we're trying to do. I really, really dig it. So yeah. And I just got a message from somebody about some P90s. So I don't know if this is him or somebody else.
Does it have a name?
Robbie.
Oh, I don't know if I can tell by names.
No, I think this guy's local to us.
Screen name. Yeah, this person was California, so.
Yeah. So, no, very, very cool. I think this has been a lot of fun to kind of take this new track, and I'm really digging it. Really digging it. But yeah, if you follow that vlog, you're going to find out we do a lot of crazy stuff. And if you have a business of your own, I mean, I'm just going to plug it right here. I don't normally plug tons of stuff on this show, but it's all free. So, make sure you watch it. Make sure you watch that channel. It's we got a lot of neat stuff going over there. And that being said, I think if we've got everybody else covered tonight and all these questions, unless there's anything coming up at the last minute that we could handle in about 5 minutes.
So you did ask a particular question, and you were asking, are they watching? And we had somebody say, I watch everything you post to this YouTube channel. Somebody else said, yes, I've been watching during my video edit work, which is totally understandable because that's like a waiting game in process, right? And acknowledgement that a daily vlog is not easy to do.
No.
An un-guitar related question. Have we ever been to Long Beach, California? I'm going in March. Would like something music related to go check out. I won a free trip Saturday.
I have been to Long Beach a few times, but it was in my former life, and it was all having to do with power sports. So I was there for freestyle motocross related things, and I was not there for music related things, and I've not been there for any. I do not know.
And I know people that have been there for makeup related things, but so I know no music related things there.
Yeah. No, I was there for a freestyle motocross deal when I was with somebody, probably Yamaha, 10 years ago. But I do not know anything music related. And I wish I did. We're actually not going to NAMM, so we will not be going to California next month. That is because we are taking, let me just say, we are focusing on what I am doing for the first part of 2018. And that is also to do with changing the world one video at a time and one guitar at a time. So the 2018 Dylan Custom Guitars line is going to actually be different and groundbreaking. It is not going to be just another telecopy. It is going to be a thing that is really, really different and really unique, and I'm really excited about it. So I am fairly certain, unless someone is prototyping in parallel with me, unbeknownst to each other, that we are doing the thing that we are doing. It will be the first of its kind. So I'm hoping. So, I mean, it's possible that there's another brand out there that's thinks they're doing the same thing at the same time, but I'm pretty sure that they're not. So I'm pretty excited about it. But that's why we're not going to California, because we're taking those resources and placing them elsewhere.
And somebody already
to make
asked
this
about
happen.
Summer NAMM, and that is probably always going to happen.
Yeah, Summer NAMM's probably always going to happen. Whether we have a booth or not is up in the air at this point. I'm actually working on some stuff, and I'm not 100% sure if that's going to happen. It just depends on how successful we are at launching this 2018 line, and whether that happens in the first quarter or the second quarter. Because what happens is you think you're ready, but the problem is that you leave NAMM at the end of January, and you have to start planning for Summer NAMM immediately, because it comes faster than, 6 weeks to do this, 6 weeks to do that, 6 weeks to do that, and bam, you're there already. Like it goes so much faster than you can anticipate. So we will be there. I just don't know how we will be there. I don't know if we will be there as Dylan Talks Tone as a media company, or Dylan Talks Tone as a guitar company, or both. I'm not really sure. It just kind of depends. But yeah, I want to go. Summer NAMM was fun this year.
What do you think about the PRS Strat prototype rumors?
They're not really a rumor. I mean, what's the guy with the funny hair? Jessica Simpson.
What?
John Mayer.
Oh. That was a random brain follow right
Sorry,
there.
you can tell I'm not a super fan, so I get ridiculed for that all the time, but I'm not really a John Mayer super fan. He has been playing it. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I'm sure it's going to be Paul Reed Smith's version of a very excellent guitar that is very well made and very tight, and everything is going to be perfect, and it's not going to feel like a Strat. That is my opinion. And I'm not going to like it. Because I've never liked a Paul Reed Smith anything ever. But that is just because I don't know. I don't know. I pick them up and I'm like, they're cool. They're beautiful. And they're works of art, and they're meticulously made, but I can't connect with them is the real answer. So maybe it's me. Not really sure. But that would be a valid answer, that maybe it's me. So I'll take that one. But other than that, I guess we covered it.
I think so.
No show next week or the week after. We will be back.
Somebody said we were being lazy. If we knew we had an audience, it would be worth it. But we probably won't have an audience.
We're not lazy. I'm taking Christmas off.
And next Monday night, we will have probably some awesome content to share, period, because there's like an all-out jam session in town.
That's why we're not... I knew that. Okay, so every year, where we live is like a proliferation of musicians. There are... this place is covered up in guitar players and musicians and bass players and drummers and guitar players and musicians and bass players and drummers. Yeah. Anyway, so
Your audience is funny tonight.
So they do this thing where it is it's a kind of a free for all jam that is a little bit structured so that it's good. And everybody brings a guitar, and there's usually 5 or 6 amps in a backline, and it's usually chaos. Like there's usually 4 or 5 guitar players on stage at one time, but it's super fun. And we've done it the last couple of years, so we will be there. So there will be live video. I'm not saying there will be no content on DylanTalksTone.com next week.
There will be all week.
There will be tons of it, because this upcoming week, there will be a lot of music to see and a lot of stuff to do. So we will be out doing it. But that is the real reason we're not having a show on Christmas, because
Right.
There's that thing. I forgot about that.
And we were just talking about that. Somebody said they're not a John Mayer fan either, and PRS to them means probably resale soon. They're not a PRS fan either. Then we had somebody is super curious. You're not going to talk about it, so next year is coming fast. I'm still waiting to find out about what you're doing with guitar color. You said a comment about the color being inside the guitar instead of on the guitar was real close, and that has me curious.
Somebody is paying attention.
Yes, I love it.
Somebody is paying attention. I'm not saying anything else.
Until it happens, right?
Nope.
There probably won't even be progress pictures.
Nope.
It's going to be amazing.
And I will tell you right now, that this week I'm hoping to make a bunch of progress on that project. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we will not even show it until it's done. This is, and I am telling you, there is nothing like this. And I will be the first one to do this. And that's why I'm not saying anything. And there's actually another design that I'm working on right now that I know 100% for sure has never been done, that all the traditionalists will say that it does not work, and it will. And it will be like nothing you've ever seen in your life. I've only told one person about it, and this is truly guitar innovation. And I'm really proud of it, and that's why I'm not talking about it. But I'm talking about it enough to tell you that just wait. We have 3 minutes.
Yep.
Well, maybe we'll end it with that because
nice mystery to close out the year.
That's right. Make sure
you tune in next year.
That's right. Make sure that you find us all week and everywhere at Dylan Talks Tone, on the YouTubes and on the internet, all over the place. The only place, and actually, please follow me at Snapchat too, is still Dylan Pickups, because I can't change that name for some reason.
No, we're doing a lot more behind the scenes with Snapchat. It's been super fun. Yeah,
and follow that blog and make sure, or that vlog, and make sure that you comment and tell us what you want to see and stuff. It's way more fun when everybody's. I mean, we're doing everything you want us to do. I mean, we're doing it because we want to do it, but I'm saying you guys are really driving it lately, and it's been so much more fun. So much more fun. So on that note, I hope everybody has a great couple of weeks. We will see you every day in some way, shape, or form between now and the next time we do a show, which will be 2 weeks from tonight. But until then, we will see you on the internets.